didn't shock him.
I rolled up and I saw a lot of cars parked in the street right here, and we had probably about 6, 7 cops in here, and I pretty much knew right away what it was. When I first started working here, they let me know that there's a cult right behind us, and I was wondering what that was about. I thought they were messing with me, and I looked up the name and saw the owner, his previous indictments and everything, and walked inside. I was like, y'all weren't joking, huh?
It's very surprising to hear that type of thing was going on again right in your backyard.
It's unclear what authorities took from the home. This view from Skyfox shows several cars lined up with gift bows on top. Neighbors say the 10-bedroom, 10.5-bathroom, 28,000 square foot mansion is one of the largest in Avila.
Because there was like, how could a pastor afford to live in a house like that?
$50 million forced labor, FBI raids. All of these things tie back to the Kingdom of God Global Church, which currently is the biggest religious scam in history. Today we're going to deep dive. Got a couple clips we're going to check out from Tampa, from Michigan, and also one from the capital of scams themselves, Houston, Texas. Scam capital, right? So let's get to it.
We're following a federal raid on a church in Taylor. The feds moved in on the Kingdom of God Global Church, formerly known as Joshua Media Ministries International, or JMMI. The feds say the organization is led by David E. Taylor, who they say solicits people to work at call centers across the U.S. His executive director is Michelle Brannon. They are accused of running a forced labor and money laundering conspiracy. They were both arrested today in North Carolina and Florida as the feds conducted a nationwide takedown of their church locations.
Michigan was a hotspot. The call centers, the homes used for operations, even one connected to that one rapper that loved Air Force Ones. This guy, right? That's a wild scope. It wasn't just one cult house specifically. It was a nationwide cult following, right? Cue the next video.
2 church leaders with ties to Tampa are facing federal charges tonight. They're at the center of what investigators are calling a multi-million-dollar conspiracy involving money laundering, forced labor, and abuse. This follows multiple FBI raids this morning, including at a home in the affluent Avalon neighborhood in Hillsborough County. This was part of a nationwide takedown. Fox 13 is covering this investigation from multiple angles. Our Kylie Jones is at the federal courthouse in Tampa, diving deeper into the church and its leaders. But we begin with Aaron Mesmer live in Avila with more on the raid and reaction from neighbors. Aaron.
It's very surprising to hear that type of thing was going on again right in your backyard.
It's unclear what authorities took from the home. This view from Skyfox shows several cars lined up with gift bows on top. Neighbors say the 10-bedroom, 10.5-bathroom, 28,000 square foot mansion is one of the largest in Avila.
Because there was like, how could a pastor afford to live in a house like that?
Tampa Bay, beautiful Tampa Bay, a $10 million mansion nestled away in the Avila neighborhood, right? And that's exactly where Michelle Brannon was arrested. Let me put this in perspective for you guys, right? Followers of the church, right, were allegedly sleeping on floors, skipping meals, all while Miss Michelle was living lavish behind the pearly gates, probably eating nice cheddar biscuits or something like that, probably like a nice medium rare steak from Steak 48 or something, you know, I don't know where they be going at, right? This is the kind of BS that makes your followers lose faith, not only in you, but lose faith in the religion itself, if you want to call it that, right?
Federal agents swarmed the campus of a North Houston church. 2 of its pastors are now accused of running a $50 million labor trafficking and money laundering scheme. KPRC2 reporter Rochelle Turner is outside Joshua Media Ministries International with what investigators say was happening behind closed doors.
Federal prosecutors say the 2 leaders solicited donations and even forced followers into labor. Now, all day we've seen agents coming in and out of this campus. We spoke to a man who works next door, and he says that he noticed unusual activity at the church in the past year. He remembers trying to offer a man some water while he was cutting grass, but says he just looked away. Drone video shows a bird's eye view of the JMMI Global Campus for Harvest off the North Freeway in North Houston. The property belongs to the Kingdom of God Global Church. On Wednesday, a heavy law enforcement presence surrounded the facility. FBI agents moving in and out for hours. Sean Oakland works next door at City Electric Supply and says the scene didn't shock him.
I rolled up and I saw a lot of cars parked in the street right here, and we had probably about 6-7 cops in here, and I pretty much knew right away what it was. When I first started working here, they let me know that there's a cult right behind us, and I was wondering what that was about. I thought they were messing with me, and I looked up the name and saw the owner, his previous indictments and everything, and walked inside. I was like, y'all weren't joking, huh?
Federal prosecutors say ministry leaders David Taylor and Michelle Brannon ran call centers in Michigan, Florida, Texas, and Missouri. They're accused of forcing followers to work long hours for little or no pay, pressuring them to meet steep donation quotas.
Houston will never fail us. I'm telling you. Houston will never fail us. Houston was headquarters for essentially the whole church. This was ground zero for the FBI raid itself, right? It's the exact same place where all these followers had to work these crazy ass hours, right? With no pay, no freedom, all with the threat of a spiritual punishment, right? And this is what I got to say to a spiritual punishment. This is the spiritual punishment right here. Bam. This isn't just financial fraud. You know what this sounds like, right? Sounds like modern day slavery. Shackle them up because you couldn't do nothing. You couldn't say nothing. Let you try to even think about doing something. You know what time it is, right? This isn't about a church or two, right? This is about how religion itself could be weaponized to not only take a person's time, take their money, take their mindset, essentially take their soul. And the worst part about this whole ordeal is that often people do not realize what has happened. They do not break away or at least attempt to until it's too late, right? My reaction, it's about 50-50, right? Half outrage, half sad. For every one of these stories we do hear about, there has to be about 10 more that go unspoken. The thing is, people want to believe in something that's bigger than them. I understand that wholeheartedly. But wolves in sheep clothing will prey on that trust like it's leaking blood. You have to be vigilant. You have to keep your eyes open. And most importantly, right, you cannot be afraid to hold your leaders accountable. You can't. So, what do you guys think, right? Comment down in the comment section if you believe that this is one of many scamming religious leaders that are going to get called out and possibly jacked up by the FBI, or if you believe that they were actually genuine and may have went about it the wrong way, possibly. But if anything, just stay holding the people in higher positions accountable. It goes for your mayors, even the president, which I love President Trump, but I will not hesitate to hold them accountable, right? But this is all for your boy, Clayton Arzino. Until next time, y'all, peace.